नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयन्तीः। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति नैष्टिकी। So continuing with our discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions, text number 28 onwards. So Brahmaji is further speaking about Krishna and his pastimes. Yadvai vraje vraj pashun vishtayo pitan palastva jiva yad anugriha drishti vrishtya tachrudhyati vishvirya vi Lola jivam uccataishav durangam viharan hridinyam. Thus, then also, when the cowherd boys and their animals drank the poisoned water of the river Yamuna, and after the Lord in his childhood revived them by his merciful glance, just to purify the water of river Yamuna, he jumped into it as if playing and chastised the venomous Kalya snake, which was lurking there, its tongue emitting waves of poison. Who can perform such Herculean tasks but the Supreme Lord? So text 29 is kind of continuation with this one. Tat karma divyamiv yanishi nishyayanam davagnina shuchivane paridayamani unneshyati vajmato avasitant kalam netre pidhapya sablo anadghi gamya virya. On the very night of the day of the chastisement of the Kalya snake, when the inhabitants of Brajbhumi were sleeping carefreely, there was a forest fire ablaze due to dry leaves, and it appeared that all the inhabitants were sure to meet their death. But the Lord, along with Balram, saved them simply by closing his eyes. Such are the superhuman activities of the Lord. Although in this verse the Lord's activity has been described as superhuman, it should be noted that the Lord's activities are always superhuman, and that distinguishes him from the ordinary living being. Uprooting a gigantic banyan with Arjuna tree and extinguishing a blazing forest fire simply by closing one's eyes are certainly impossible for any kind of human endeavor. But not only are these activities amazing to hear, but in fact, all other activities of the Lord, whatever he may do, are all superhuman, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Whoever knows the superhuman activities of the Lord due to their very transcendental nature becomes eligible to enter the kingdom of Krishna. And as such, after quitting this present material body, the knower of the transcendental activities of the Lord goes back home, back to Godhead. So this Kalya, chastisement of Kalya Daman Lila, it's also one of the very important and very instructive, very sweet pastime of Krishna. Of course, Krishna's all the pastimes are sweet. So this Kalya snake, he was living not actually in Yamuna. There was like a tributary, not a river, but like a little pond right on the side of Yamuna. And this not a little pond, it was miles and miles long and miles wide. That's how big it is. It was. And Kalya was living there. Now, why Kalya was living there? Kalya came from another ocean, another dweep actually. And Kalya and Garudji, they had a big animosity. Garudji would used to go to that island to kill the snakes, and Garudji used to eat those snakes. So the king of that island, they made a deal with Garudji that I don't know, it was every day or every week we will give you these many snakes, so you eat them, but you just leave rest of them alone. Don't don't bother them. So Garudji agreed. So okay, I'll come on this day, and you give me that many snakes, and rest can live. So no problem. So it was the day of Kalia to be the food of Garudji. And Kalia said, Kalia was a powerful snake. He was an ordinary snake. And he said, I will not just be eaten by Garudji. I'll fight with him. So that day Kalia fought, but Garudji was powerful and Kalia ran away from him. So Kalia ran, and in the ocean, in the water, Garudji was following him, and finally he came to this place of Yamuna. Now, why this place? And Garudji could not come to kill him in this place. Why? um, what had happened, if you remember, there's a rishi named Sobri Rishi. Sobri Rishi, he he heard of so many problems on the earth, and he said Vishwamitra Muni also got bewildered by listening to this ankle bell ringing of Apsara, and his tapasya broke. So he decided that I'll do tapasya underwater. And he came to this part of Yamuna, this part of Vrindavan, and he was doing tapasya underwater, sitting peacefully underwater and doing his tapasya. So when he was doing his tapasya, there were so many fishes around him, and the fishes would not bother him. So Sobri Rishi was kind of friendly with those fishes. And once Garudji came at this point, at this lake, and he was eating the fishes. So Sobri Rishi, not understanding the position of Garudji, and not understanding that he has to eat something, he cursed Garudji that if you ever come in this part of the lake or Yamuna, then you will die. As soon as you come, you will die. So Garudji knew this curse, and somehow Kalia also knew this curse. So he came. Now, this is the problem. And Sobri Rishi, because he cursed Garudji is a pure devotee of the Lord, he's a carrier of the Lord. And that is the reason Sobri Rishi fell down from his position. So once Sobri Rishi saw two fishes mating, and then even though he was underwater, he was completely absorbed in his tapasya, in his meditation. He saw those fishes, then somehow he had a desire to have wife. And he came out of water, and he went to the nearby king. Nearby king had, I think, 7 or 9 daughters. They were ready to, they were of the marriage age. But Sobri Rishi, because he was doing tapasya for so many years, all his body was completely messed up. I mean, long beard and not good looking person. So he went, and the king said, I cannot marry my daughters to you. And the king thought, I cannot say no either. So he said, okay, let my daughters decide. So Sobri Rishi, by his tapabal, he became a beautiful, very charming, handsome young man. And that's how he went in front of those princesses. And every princess, she said, I want to marry this man. So he ended up marrying all of the princesses. So anyway, so his tapasya was completely broken. So this was because of his offense at the lotus feet of Garudji. And another problem that happened, that because he committed offense, he stopped Garudji from coming there. So what ended up, Kalia came over there. And Kalia, when Kalia came, he ate all the fishes because his poison was so deadly, so strong. Every fish, everything on the shore also would die. That's all. And because of his poison, the water at that lake was always boiling. It was black, it was always boiling. His poison was so strong. So Kalia was there, living there for ages, for yugas, many, many yugas he was living. It wasn't like he just came. It was many yugas he was living there. And although he had all the bad qualities, but there was only one good quality, that he was in Vrindavan and taken shelter of Yamuna. Now, when Krishna appeared, so Krishna had to take care of Kalia. So one day they were playing, all the boys, they were playing with ball at the bank of the Yamuna, and somehow one boy threw the ball inside Yamuna, and Krishna went to get the ball out. Of course, getting the ball out was only a ploy. He wanted to take care of Kalia. So he jumped in the lake. And now everybody, all the boys, they were fainting. Why did Krishna jump into the lake? He knew this lake wasn't good. Kalia lives here. And some boys ran back to Nandgaon and told Yashoda Maiya Nanda Baba. And some gopis ran and they told Radharani that Krishna had jumped into Kalia Daha, that place where Kalia is living. They all ran, came. And actually Krishna had gone on a Kadamba tree. That Kadamba tree was the only green tree at the bank of that river. Because there was another story behind it, that once, I think, once it was Garudji only, he took the pot of nectar and he was running away. And one drop of that nectar fell on this Kadamba tree. And the Kadamba tree was always green. Even the poison of Kalia would not affect him, had no effect. So Krishna jumped on that Kadamba tree and jumped in the lake. So everybody came, Yashoda Maiya, Nanda Baba, they were at the banks, and Radharani, Gopis, Gopas, everybody was there crying. And Balramji was trying to stop all of that. Everybody wanted to just jump into the lake and fight with Kalia. And Balramji knew they cannot survive this poison. And Balramji was stopping everybody. But Yashoda Maiya, Nanda Baba, practically they just fainted seeing Krishna inside the lake. And then Krishna was inside the lake and he was dancing on the hoods of Kalia. Kalia had 1,000 hoods. And every hood, Krishna would jump from one hood to the other hood to the other. And first, by his jumping, and he was doing dancing also. So by jumping and dancing on all those hoods, first the poison came out, and then the blood came out. And then finally Kalia surrendered. Kalia surrendered, and the Kalia Patnis, the Nag Patnis, the wives of Kalia, they all came. Krishna was going to kill Kalia, but they all came. They prayed to Krishna that, please have mercy on our husband. And they glorified Krishna, that all these yogis, all these tapasvis, they do so much of tapasya, still they don't get the blessing of the dust of your lotus feet. But somehow our husband must have done some pious activity that he got the dust of your lotus feet on all his hoods. So something special he must have done. So anyway, so Krishna jumped around and finally Kalia subdued. And then Krishna told the Nagpatnis and Kalia that you have to get out of here. You cannot live here. And you have to let Yamuna be pure. Kalia said, but wherever I go, Garudji will bother me. He will try to kill me. So Krishna said, no. Seeing my marks of my lotus feet on your head, Garudji will not come and bother you. You go away. And Srila Prabhupada actually wrote in one of his purports that Kalia went to Fiji Island, where the Fiji Island is right now, near New Zealand. So Fiji Island, and that is where behind a mountain, there is an ocean, there's a lake, and that's where he lives. And that's why in Fiji, when they installed the deity, when we had ISKCON temple, they installed the deity, The deity is Krishna dancing on Kalia's head. That's a deity, main deity over there. And that's called Kalia Krishna. So Kalia got famous because Krishna jumped on or danced on his head. And somehow Prabhupada said Kalia went there and took shelter of that part of the ocean. So after Krishna chastised, subdued Kalia, he came out. And Balramji was as I said, he was trying to stop everybody from jumping into the lake. But Balramji was also looking at Krishna and he was laughing. Why was he laughing? He was thinking, I as Anand Shesha, I'm holding Krishna on my on myself for millions of years, but he never dances on my hoods. And this little bitty serpent called Kalia, and Krishna is dancing on his hoods and he's enjoying it. What kind of pastime is this? And Balramji was laughing. And actually, Balramji, if he didn't go inside the lake, because if he had gone, Kalia couldn't have done anything because Kalia would have respected the Anand Shesha. Balramji's manifestation is Anand Shesha. And Kalia would have really just paid obeisances and would have gone away and Krishna wouldn't have had his pastime. So Balramji didn't go inside. So Krishna, when he came out, so by that time it was pretty much in the evening. And Krishna then advised everybody that let's take rest over here. Why go back? So it's getting dark anyway. So let's just everybody lie down at the bank of Yamuna. Now everything is pure. Kalia is gone. So we can take rest. So everybody slept. Of course, Prabhupada here writes that by the wind there was fire, but actually it is said that Kalia's friends who were there and who saw Kalia being beaten up, they wanted to take revenge. So they started the forest fire. And at the night, middle of the night, the forest fire was there and everybody was sleeping there, but they all got up, seeing all the plants, all the trees around them were burning. And just few hours before, they were ready to jump into Yamuna, they were ready to fight with Kalia, and they were ready to save Krishna. And now, they all took shelter of Krishna. The Krishna, you please protect us, please save us. And Krishna was thinking, what is this? Now they are taking shelter of me. So Krishna told everybody, okay, you all close your eyes. Why did he tell them to close their eyes? He told them because before what had happened when once Krishna ate dirt and Balramji and all his friends, they went to tell Yashoda Maiya that Krishna has eaten dirt. And Yashoda Maiya got so alarmed, she chastised Krishna, she told him to open his mouth and show if he has eaten dirt. And Krishna went, no, Maiya, I have not eaten dirt. Yashoda Maiya, no, show me, open your mouth. And Krishna opened his mouth and of course he showed the whole Brahmand to Yashoda Maiya. And now Krishna was thinking, just because she heard that I have eaten dirt and she made such a big fuss about it, now if I drink this forest fire and Yashoda Maiya sees me drinking forest fire, then what will happen to her? So that's why he told everybody, you all close your eyes. And when they closed their eyes, Krishna just drank. He opened his mouth, he drank all the forest fire. And when they opened the eyes, the forest fire was gone. And another pastime that happened along with this, when Krishna was in the Yamuna and dancing on the hoods of Kalia, he was in the water for a long time. So when we go to Vrindavan and we do Vrindavan Parikrama, there is a place called Radha Madan Mohan Temple, which was built by Sanatana Goswami. And it's at a place called Dwadash Aditya Tila. Dwadash means 12. Aditya means sun. So that is the place where sun appears, 12 sun appeared all of a sudden because Krishna was cold from jumping in Yamuna and being in Yamuna for such a long time. And Krishna came to this Tila, and 12 sons appeared, and they all appeared to dry up Krishna right away. And well, another reason Krishna came to this Tila, this kind of a hill, because Shrimati Radharani, her Ishtadev is Suryadev. She worships Suryadev from tradition, family tradition. So she would always come to worship over at this point, Aditya Tila, Dwadash Aditya Tila. And Radharani was very much worried that Krishna was in the Yamuna for such a long time, so Krishna might get cold. So she was there, and of course, when she was there, Krishna had to come over there. And then she invoked sun god, and 12 suns showed up, and they dried up Krishna. So many pastimes happen along with each other, just in one pastime of Krishna chastising Kaliya. And another thing, that from Nandagaon and Barsana, like Nandagaon, Yashoda Maiya and Nanda Baba came, from Barsana Gopis came. How did they know that this is a place where Krishna had jumped in the river? It's quite far, it's in Vrindavan, and they were coming from Nandagaon. So it is said in the morning when Krishna leaves Nandagaon and he comes with his cows to different places for the cows to graze, so his footprints are there on the dust of Braj. And none of the cows, although Krishna has 9 lakh cows, and Krishna's cowherd boyfriends, they also have many cows. And Krishna's boyfriend, cowherd boys who are with Krishna, none of them, they step on the footprints of Krishna. They respect it and they love it. They say, yes, it should be there. So even the cows avoid stepping on the footprints of Krishna. So seeing those footprints of Krishna, Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maiya, they all ran and they came to this point. So even Mother Earth, she respects those footprints. So that is why it is said that since Krishna has left, and means he has wound up his pastimes and he has become unmanifest, only 3 things since Dwapar Yuga are there in Braj that are still there originally. Giri Govardhan, Yamuna Ji, and the Braj Raj, the dust of Braj. These 3 are original since Krishna's time. So that is why the Braj Raj, because Braj Raj is everywhere Krishna's, of course we cannot see Krishna's lotus feet imprints, but they are there. So, and in that Braj Raj, the dust of Braj. So whenever we go to Braj, any place, Barsana, Nandagaon, any place in Braj, whole Braj Mandal, we should take as much dust and smear on our body, on our head, on our faces, or maybe we can roll in that dust, because Krishna's lotus feet imprints are still there. And that Braj Raj is original Braj Raj from Krishna's time. And that rolling in the Braj Raj, that will give us Krishna Prema. Of course, we don't. After we roll, we should not just do this. Braj Raj should go away. We let it be there. So anyway, this was the pastime of Krishna chastising Kaliya. I'll stop and see anybody has any questions or comments.
Very nice class. I was thinking that you said we also like to hear these kind of stories where Krishna kills the demon. So it was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Abba. Any other question or comment?
Wonderful pastime, Prabhuji. We too have heard just small.
Although I try to summarize it
Yeah. But we just heard a small story of Kalia. Who chota sa ek part is like it's good. Kalia Nag.
Oh, it's in very detail. It's a big detail pastime.
I think बचपन से ही we have just heard a very small story of कालिया नाग को मारा था कृष्णा ने बस that's all वो भी जन्माष्टमी पे Not even.
Prabhuji, maybe one special class on Krishna killing demons.
Yeah.
I have a whole PowerPoint presentation of Krishna and demons, killing all the demons.
Wow.
Prabhuji, please, then this weekend is up, so we can have it in the weekend.
Yes.
Please, Prabhuji.
No, it's not the one you can have online. This has to be done in person.
अच्छा.
Yeah, then we all enjoy it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, will wait for your return. Then when you come, we'll go to the bank and hear the pastime from you and watch the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
That too on Braj Mandal.
Prabhuji,
Mataji.
any tentative timeline when you're coming back? For some time.
Only Krishna knows.
We are waiting, Prabhuji, for you.
Chalo, I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day.